It's showtime, I guess. So, and there's a group over there that has to wave at each other as they do that selfie. There's another group that insulted the dean when they took pictures of each other and didn't want the dean included in it. I don't want them to actually worry about graduation. It will be in 2026. They can just hang out for a while, and do remember it was the picture that was the cause of that. So anybody know when the tradition of the white coat ceremony started? We're quizzing the class. It's a different class. This is a different, none of you know when the white coat ceremony, you know, it's absolutely, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't introduce myself. I'm Mark Wolf. I am the Dean at Penn Dental Medicine. It is my pleasure to help educate and help see to it that patient care and all good things happen here. And for friends, family, welcome. Faculty, there are a few, welcome and thank you for being here. And children, it's okay, they can make all the commentary they want. I'm used to sitting with students who are looking at Facebook and cruising through their computers as I lecture and present, so it's absolutely fine, the distraction of children in the background. This is a unique white coat ceremony. It's for a class of students that have been with us for a complete year right now. We were you know, it's hard to believe where we were a year ago, or 2 years ago in what we are doing. And that's pretty remarkable. It's been truly, this particular class has been here during a particularly crazy period of time in health and healthcare. And it goes heavily towards a discussion about the white coat and what we need to think about and what we need to do in the future. And I'll tie it all together before I finish, and I tend to tell stories as I go through the process, and I promise I will bring it all together for friends and family that are here. I think the students are already used to me a little bit in that respect. You know, so we're here today in a period of time where COVID is still active. The number of COVID deaths in America are greater today than they were in the spring of 2020 when we closed down America and everybody hid and didn't know. How many of you washed your cans and goods when they came back from the grocery store? We did not know what to do or how. We heard that this was coming, and the death rate for those over 65 was horrendous. The death rate for people that had pre-existing illness was horrendous. And how we were going to extricate ourselves was really very much unknown. I sat actually with the dean of the medical school just Tuesday evening. I personally had a scotch, and he was drinking a glass of wine. And we asked the question, so where did you think we were going to be going on March 11th of 2020, when we decided we were closing the university and students would not return from spring break? How were we going to extricate ourselves? Where were we going? Every person there, and there were 5 deans amongst the group, believed that in 3-4 weeks of isolation and taking it easy and just relaxing a bit at home, we would be great, and this disease would essentially peter out as if a bad flu. For some reason, trusted scientists stopped being trusted. We looked at this disease, and some people decided we'll do this, and some people decided we'll do that. People who went on Google and asked about this disease heard all sorts of things ranging from people are really not dying to this is going to be the plague that ends us all. I did get to see, as I came and assisted at both Penn and at my prior institution in New York, tractor trailers. He's got it. Tractor trailers to hold those that perished. It wasn't a joke. It wasn't a rumor, and it wasn't make-believe. This was a real disease. But something happened in the United States and the world that we have never seen before. And it was an ethos and a disbelief in science. It was a disbelief in healthcare providers. It was a division amongst people not willing to sacrifice for their neighbor and do things for the collective good. We are creating men and women of science, people that understand how to read the literature, know folly from truth, become trusted confidants for patients, for people that can't read the literature and can't understand. And that's the interesting item. We all didn't step up enough as healthcare providers to jump up and say, no, this is not what's happening. No, there is a truth. No, there is a... And what happened was people didn't understand how science works. So, at day one, we decided, as out of an abundance of safety and a shortage of masks, there were physicians standing over respirators for patients who had COVID, who were wearing cloth masks because the hospital couldn't get them a real mask. The masks that every one of your family members wears to deliver care, N95 masks, were not available in the United States except for a very few in production. Those are the masks that protected us from tuberculosis. That was about the only disease, or unless you worked in a high infectious laboratory, nobody else wore those. They were not available. So somebody comes out and says, no, we don't want the general population wearing masks. That's not necessary. You can wear cloth masks. It's okay. What were they actually saying? They were actually saying we have healthcare providers of higher need that must wear high-quality masks if they're going to live and not die trying to save lives. I remember Fauci making statements, saying that, if we don't do certain things before the summer, 65,000 people will die in America. 1 million people later, we're still not out of this disease. And to me, the disease is a disease of science and trust. For those that don't know, the mRNA vaccine was invented here at Penn, University of Pennsylvania. I wish at Penn Dental Medicine. It had been kicking around actually for more than a decade. And this application became available, and it actually made the difference. Pfizer had the first version of this vaccine ready to start studying by June of 2020. An unheard of scientific breakthrough that normally takes 5 to 10 years to do. In December and January, December of 20 and January of 21, the students at Penn Dental Medicine, the faculty and staff at Penn Dental Medicine were actually arguing over who could be the first to get this vaccine. And how can we amicably distribute it to people of high risk, people that are going to be treating patients, and there's nothing more vulnerable than a patient sitting getting dental care with a mask off while we're blowing air and making spray and having it come up in our face. Wow, 2 years later, what a different place that we're sitting in. But actually, we're not sitting in a tremendously different place. More than a third of highly vulnerable individuals are still not vaccinated or boosted adequately. Today, there are whole areas that are shunning vaccines and life-saving materials to the point where a flu vaccine, which few, if ever, were worried about taking, actually, a large percentage of America today, when surveyed, I won't take the flu vaccine. It's hazardous. I heard that it puts trackers, it kills, it does this, it paralyzes. A million stories. There were 2 months ago 100 flu deaths per day in the United States. This is the first time in nearly 100 years that we've seen the life expectancy for a second year actually drop because of the number of people who are dying, young and old, of this disease. Polio, which has not been seen in America in almost 50 years, has emerged again because a group of people do not believe that the polio vaccine, by the way, also invented with a group of people that were associated with University of Pennsylvania and University of Pittsburgh here in Pennsylvania, the state. There are a group of people that don't believe in the science of polio vaccine anymore. They'd rather work with herd immunity. They would rather survive. Counting on you being vaccinated, but not me, because this is hazardous. And it's flu, it's measles, mumps, and rubella, it's polio, it's COVID vaccines, it's general health measures that we need to learn, and we need to understand the meaning of using the best science, and me actually caring about you by taking a vaccine. Because I don't know, maybe you're immune suppressed. Maybe you've been treated for cancer and can't take a vaccine. Maybe you are unable to for a different reason. But me just acting like it's my self-determined and I can do this all on my own, it's not only selfish, but it's bad for society and bad for a world. Now, how does this come to the white coat? The white coat, since none of you actually, by now, I would have hoped a few of you would have Googled the first white coat ceremony, was done at Columbia University School of Physicians and Surgeons. And it was discussed as a method of getting the new healthcare provider to accept the responsibilities of their profession. Now, I actually have not been thrilled when I first arrived here with the concept of a first-year dental student in the first weeks of dental school, before they know what it means to be a professional, putting on the white coat and taking the oath you'll hear in a few minutes. But the interesting thing with this particular group is every one of you has been a healthcare provider somewhere else in the world before, and you've spent a year being a healthcare provider here at Penn now. And you start to understand the science, and you start to understand the gravity of what you are responsible for along the way. Or the things that are even bigger than you recognize right now. So we're going to pick up the white coat ceremony. Oh, do you know where the white coat actually came from? I told you that it was the white coat ceremony in Columbia, the College of Physicians and Surgeons. But the white coat, what color coat did physicians wear in Europe in 1800, 1850? Black. It stayed clean all the time. Nobody noticed. It wasn't until Lister and others actually realized that healthcare providers were spreading disease by not washing their hands. Anybody know the physician that actually said that associated with births? Semmelweis. He died disgraced after having been in a psychiatric institution because he had the temerity to suggest that the physician was actually going from the dissection room where they were learning to the birthing area and delivering babies and transmitting disease. That was not unacceptable. It was not believable. But he had studied and looked at the evidence of where that came from and was absolutely positive that if you had the baby delivered by a midwife, you were much less likely to actually develop infection than if you had it delivered by the healthcare provider, the physician. But because it was so hard for physicians to accept the findings, to even think about it, this person was drummed out of the health profession and actually passed away having been disgraced as an individual. You are joining a healthcare profession in the United States and globally that I have to say counts on you believing in the science. It counts on you taking care of the medical emergency, being the one that steps up after the tornado, the auto accident, being the one that steps up to take care of a patient who doesn't know what physician to go see, that asks the question, are you not able to eat with your denture because the denture doesn't fit well? Or are you just not able to get reasonable food to eat? You are the group that we are counting on accepting a white coat oath as part of the process that will put the individual ahead of your own personal wealth, gain, and thoughts. Because our patients trust us because we are supposedly the educated, the caring professional, the individuals that would only do the right thing for that person. Now, this is important today because you have the choice of trying to get points for things and get out of dental school that maybe weren't things that you did. You have the choice of recommending things that, you know, I need one of these. Don't let me ever catch you saying, my crown patient is here today. Because nobody is identified by the dental work they need. They're identified by the children that they have, by the family that they have, by the conditions that they have, by the needs that we can serve. That's what the white coat ceremony is about. You get that opportunity to understand that right now. And the really great thing about this is in about, I'm very bad at math, it's 16 months from right now, 17 months from right now, you will be Penn dental graduates, a member of one of the best alum that is possible, and oh, you're having trouble believing that. It's only that row over there that didn't take their picture with me that's staying longer. Everybody else will be out in 18 months. I don't want you to worry about it. No. Of course you get a second chance. I'm one of those people that's just a mush and just caves instantly no matter what. So take this really seriously. You're joining a legacy that is coming up on where 1878 was when we took in our first class as a dental school. The building that we're in, Evans, was donated. The funds for that was donated by a dentist that lived on that corner all their life. Well, he didn't live there. He lived in Europe, but he did donate the money to build the building. Our artwork, our legacy is actually one that you become part of, and that we hope that you will be a leader and do things that make us proud going forward. So, to your families, thank you for hanging in there, A, while I spoke, and B, while they went through dental school. Not that you had much choice at this particular point, but they're a short dot away from their next portion of life. We expect them to be lifelong learners. We expect them to be a part of our society, leading in so many different ways. And the best I can say is welcome. So we do have a great speaker who has dedicated a career to actually supporting students here at the University of Pennsylvania. Ms. Tamara Greenfield King serves as interim provost for university life and senior associate vice provost for student affairs. She came to Penn in 2019 after 20 years of increasing responsibilities at the University of Washington, St. Louis, culminating in an associate vice chancellor for student support and wellness. She is a sought-after expert on student conduct and Title IX, serving as the first African-American president of the Association for Student Conduct Administration. Prior to higher education, King was the first African-American assistant district attorney in Northampton County, Pennsylvania. She earned her law degree from New York University and a baccalaureate degree in political science from Penn State University. We're delighted that Tamara could be here today to welcome you in this white coat ceremony here. So, Tamara, please. You need to speak into that microphone and wear this so that the audience can hear you.
Gotcha.
You can leave that wherever you wish. I will step away.
Thank you.
Good evening. It's called call and response. Good evening. Good evening. There you go. How's everyone? Good. Some of you owe people selfies. I'm just saying, take some selfies, take some pictures with the dean before you get in trouble tonight. Lots of pictures. So I'm delighted to be here in front of you tonight. It's a nice chilly evening, and my office is down on Locust Walk, probably the area of campus you don't go to frequently because you're always up here, but down a ways, down by one of the Ben Franklin statues. So we came up, it was chilly, a little cold, and I'm like, okay, we're going to talk about your journey coming to the University of Pennsylvania over at the dental school, which again, you all know is no small feat. It requires lots of study, hard work, and some good fortune along the way. And you're here, and you obviously have been very successful since you've completed at least one full year. Congratulations on that. But I just wanted to come and talk to you briefly, not going to take a lot of time, just about your journey here in the U.S., in your medical careers, in the work that you do, and an awesome responsibility that you're going to carry with you for as long as you engage in the practice of medicine and throughout your life. So I would say we've had a lot of bittersweets in January, from the Eagles going to the Super Bowl, if you like football, okay, to some tragedies because of individuals tasked with helping from a medical perspective not doing their jobs well. So when Dean Wolf talked about assisting, putting others ahead of yourselves, that's the spirit of what he's getting at when he talks about you no longer are first. There have been a couple of times, even when I've just been on a plane and someone became ill on a plane, and the first thing they say, is there anyone here with medical training? Right? That's important. That's going to go with you in your life, no matter where you are. So we're delighted you're here. We're delighted that we're able to train you even further to become even more proficient in your work and in your areas of expertise. Again, my name is Tamara Greenfield King. I've been at Penn just 4 short years. It feels like a lot shorter because I was only here 1 year and then COVID happened. So this has all been new for us. But I've been working in higher ed for 35 years. So I know what students think about. I know how we provide wraparound services for students. And we always tell students and their families, we are in the business of graduation. So in my shop, we are happy when people get to the finish line. And sometimes we'll be in a meeting and we will say, we've just got to get this student to the finish line. So some just common advice that I would give any group of students that's at Penn. We already know you're the best and the brightest. You are. You wouldn't be sitting here. You wouldn't be given this honor and privilege to learn from some of the best in the world. Forget just the country, but in the world. And with that, there are so many resources here to support you along the way. And I just want to make sure that you take good advantage of them. The faculty and staff over here are tremendous. I get to work with them, not on a regular basis, which is a good thing, but every once in a while I'll get to work with them. And they will have an issue or a difficulty, and we will work through it. They're caring, they're compassionate, and they do want you to be successful. So always make sure that you get to know them as individuals. And if you're in this room and you have not made 4, 5, or 6 new acquaintances from other parts of the world, we have failed you miserably. Because part of coming here and being involved in this type of program is that you will have friends across the globe. Some of you may work together doing research and things of that nature. I also want to say, is there anyone in the room who has not been to New York City yet? Oh, y'all been getting out there. Okay. Anyone not been to Washington, D.C.? All right. So what I'm going to say is while you have to study, I'm not ever going to tell you to forego your studies, but what I will say is you are only 2.5, 3 hours, depending on how fast you drive or which train you take, from the capital of the United States. Don't leave the country without going there. It's our rich history. If you haven't been downtown Philadelphia to the historical landmarks that exist. So the first public hospital is downtown. Museums that are dedicated to the study of healthcare and science, biology, anatomy, just downtown. So take advantage of the rich history that exists right here around you. And there's a tour. I don't work for the tour company, but I love history. So there's a tour bus that you can take. It's called the On-Off bus, and it'll take you all around Philadelphia and talk about the history of the city and all of the firsts that you'll hear along the way as you travel on that tour. Any of you involved with any of our student organizations, with GAPSA or any of the other student organizations? Raise your hand high if you all are my people. I meet with students all the time and try to help make your experience better. But on a very serious note, you will soon, I hear, 17, 18 months, be entrusted again with people's lives, with their care. It's a huge and daunting responsibility. And I'm certain by the time 2024 rolls around, you will be prepared for that requirement. If things aren't going perfectly the way you would like them to go, and this thing called life, it never does, then make sure that you're reaching out to the administration, that you're talking with folks on campus who can help you navigate some of those. I like to call them speed bumps, because you'll slow down, but you don't have to come to a complete stop. So if you get to a speed bump, make sure you're reaching out for help. It is not a sign of weakness to ask for some help along the way. What part in the world you will play is your decision to make. As you all know, we in this country in the last week and going into next week are going to have some weather challenges. Some people are going to have accidents, lose their lives, be injured, seek medical attention. That's where you're going to come into play, and you're going to decide what role you're going to play in our society. So I'll just talk a little bit about teeth. I've told the administration a couple of weeks ago when I was here, I am one of the rare people, I've been told by my dentist, that 1% of the world's population does not have permanent teeth behind their primary teeth. So I'm one of those people. So I have about 8 primary teeth that there are no permanent teeth behind them. And those are the ones that give me all the trouble. So I have to keep going to the dentist. But that's I always tell that as one of my fun facts, that I still have some of my primary teeth. The other thing is, the other day, someone at work said her son jumped down a flight of stairs, face first, 4 teeth broken out. That's where you all come in and the decisions that you make. So again, daunting responsibilities. I'm confident you will be able to measure and meet and make us proud as Penn alums in a few, not so short months, in a few months. If you ever are down on the main campus and you want to grab a cup of coffee, cup of tea, I'd be happy to have you stop in, say hello. They'll try to gatekeep and be like, does Dean King know you're coming? Is she expecting you? And you just say, I met her at the dental school. And then they'll come back and say, it's somebody who said they met you at the dental school. And then that'll be my cue to let you all in, because they might not let you in otherwise. Yes. So I'm going to close with the best of luck to you all. When you graduate and finish, and as you take on the white coat ceremony this evening, just remember one of my favorite quotes: do not follow where the path leads. Go instead where there is no path and leave your trail. Congratulations.
Thank you, Tamara. Always pleasure to have you. Well, I just wanted to congratulate you all on reaching this milestone. Being affiliated with PAST program for the past many years has been really, truly one of the greatest pleasure of my career here. So welcome all. And I will go to the essence of the ceremony, which is putting white coats. So assisting us will be my former student and my colleague, Dr. Joy Abt. I still remember her and her twin sister sitting in the second row in my perio lectures, showing up for every lecture, never missing one. But it was so wonderful that we stayed colleagues. So will you please come here, line up, and when you are introduce yourself, tell your name, state your name, the country where you're from, and you will be taking a picture with Dean Wolf. A professional photographer will take a photograph, and you will be able to download the photograph afterwards. Please hold the applause until the last student had come up. All right, thank you.
When you do come up for the for the photo, you may take off your mask at that time to take the photo. When you go back, please put the mask on for everybody else. You want to go back that way? Yeah,
No, I'll stay
you're
here.
trapped or-
Yeah.
Hind Al-Jabouri from Iraq.
Reem Sheikh Ibrahim from Syria.
You want to come all the way out of the beam, all the way over this way. So you're out of the beam, correct. That's
Zina Tala Chakr from Iraq.
Sarah Jawad from Iraq.
Sukanya Sarangi from India.
Motsaraya Boyinbode from Nigeria.
Medina Sikridiva from Russia. Neda Falsafi Iran. Neda Falsafi Iran.
Mustafa Al-Qasim, Syria.
Hello everyone, Mohammad Musiuddin Arif from India.
Hi, I'm Jinabar Shamoy from Iraq.
There you go. There you go. That's, here, turn this way. Do you want your mask on?
Good, like so, and again. Beautiful.
In 50 years, you have to explain why.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sarah Nepal from Nepal.
Hi, I am Muhammad Abdul Hamid al-Shuaibi من اليمن.
Michelle Suniga from Ecuador.
Jessica Chacon from Venezuela.
Cecilia Bermudez from Venezuela.
Osama Safandi from Iraq.
Ready? Good. And good, like that, and again. Beautiful.
What?
Rand Ali
Iraq, I
Nihad
think.
from Iraq. Shirin Arkawazi from Iraq.
Kanwar Ram from India.
Mudita Verma from India.
Nazbanu Farpur from Iran.
Adam Asif Raza from Pakistan.
Sabita Tipuluru from India.
Halima Kamali from Pakistan. Sanya Gupta from India.
Mohammed El Masiri from Egypt.
Hi everyone, I'm Elmaz Jabbar from Crimea, Ukraine. Madhura Sen, India.
Hi, Sara Purnima Sendur from India.
Jamal Hamadi from Iraq.
Nisreen Ibrahim from Jordan.
Hi everyone, I'm Ebonluwa Olayemi from Nigeria.
We've got you now. Come on over.
Hello everyone, I'm Tulsi Priya Kondapalli and I am from India.
Hi everyone, I'm Sharan Jot Kaur and I am from India.
There we go. We have to get to the green X. There we go.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Hi, I'm Amadi Bushra from India.
Hello everyone, I'm Harsha Lalwani and I'm from India.
Ayushi Patel from India.
Hi everyone, I'm Maitri Patel from India.
Thank you.
I think this is the row that didn't take my pictures. I'm just checking. I'm checking. A little bit more. There you go. Very good. Beautiful. Got it.
Hi, I'm Sweetu Patel from India.
Hello everyone, Ankit Patel from India.
Hello everyone, I'm Annalise Alba from Cuba.
Hi there, Sonia Diaz from Cuba.
Hi, Giselle Cordero from Dominican Republic.
Hi everyone, Mauritania Polnuris from Cuba.
Priscila Dias Nascimento Sander from Brazil.
Hi everyone, Ariana Borges from Cuba.
Hello everyone, Russian Maggie from India.
Hello. Amy Guerra Roman for Cuba.
Okay, a round of applause for past class of 2024. So we're coming to the final part of our ceremony. I'd like to invite my good colleague, Dr. John Glatch, Associate Dean for Academic Policy, to lead the pledge. John and I met, I wanted to say last century at Columbia University. It was actually last millennium. So my pleasure to introduce her and let her lead the ceremony.
Okay. So it's my pleasure to lead the professional pledge. So I'd like the members of the class of 2024 to stand. And I'd also like any dentists in the audience to stand and join us as well to renew your professional pledge along with our class from the 2024. Now, I want to make sure everybody has a program because we're going to read the pledge together. We'll do it bullet point by bullet point. And let's begin. As I enter the dental medicine profession, I vow to keep this pledge and practice these stipulations. Okay? Let's keep going. I understand that my primary responsibility is to my patients. To the best of my ability, I will embrace the highest standards oral health care and treat all individuals under my care with respect and honesty, always placing the needs of my patients and community first above my own. I accept the responsibility to maintain my competence through the continued pursuit of new knowledge and skills in the practice of my profession. I will conduct myself with integrity, treat my colleagues with respect, and wherever possible, work to advance the oral health of society. I shall faithfully observe the principles of ethics, codes of professionalism encountered during my dental training and beyond. All this I pledge with pride in Penn Dental Medicine's heritage and my commitment to the profession and the public I serve. Thank you. Please be seated.
Thank you, John. Thanks everybody who participated in the ceremony, but special thanks to our student affairs team, Margaret, Young, Sue Schwartz, and Deborah, who organized this event. This concludes the formal part of the ceremony. We're going to have light refreshment upstairs, so I would like the students to leave first and then families follow. Thank you.